The Sonoran Desert, unyielding beauty, shrouded in mystery, barren at times, and yet wildly abundant at others. Nearly 3 decades ago, Scottsdale residents showed great foresight in initiating a public mandate to conserve these rugged lands that form the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. Now the time has come for the next planned step of the preserve's evolution, with an educational center located at the edge between the urban landscape and preserved lands, helping us to gain a deeper understanding of the unique environment we treasure through encounters, discovery, global insight, and most of all, education.
You know, you can take a piece of land and put a fence around it and say we've preserved it, but that's unsustainable, because if people don't know it and haven't come to love it, then as soon as a better offer comes along, they'll let it go. But if people come to know it and love it, then they'll really be defenders. And if they understand the role it plays, you know, in the greater ecology and the greater conservation in the valley, then they really will protect it.
The guiding principle adopted for the proposed Desert Discovery Center project has been small footprint, big vision. First, the big vision. The center is envisioned as the most important environmental education and research center in the world, focused on desert living and arid lands. Amazingly, this big vision manifests within a small space. Our design team worked not only to create a smaller footprint, but also a smarter footprint. Our architect and experienced designers deliberately situated the site on the edge of the McDowell Sonoran Preserve, looking out at the urban valley and back into the Sonoran Desert and McDowell Mountains, literally on the edge of the urban preserve interface. Initially, the city of Scottsdale identified a 30-acre study area at the gateway to the McDowell Sonoran Preserve. It was envisioned that the proposed Desert Discovery Center project would be located somewhere on that site.
It was an area where things could be put there that weren't appropriate in other parts of the preserve, where the community desired to be left in as pristine a state as possible. It's clear that this is the location where those activities that we don't want in other parts of the preserve, the activities that are going to attract a lot of people, this is where they are to be located.
Originally planned to border the existing Gateway Trailhead, the site itself has been moved south. This maintains the current Gateway experience as is without disruption. This newly designed site is dramatically smaller than the previous plan and takes advantage of the existing maintenance building. The design team also carefully examined each aspect of the center and determined whether it contributed to the visitor experience and was necessary to be located within the preserve. As a result, non-essential operations such as some administrative functions, storage, classrooms, maintenance, and overflow parking will be located off-site. Parking will be contained within the approved Gateway parking footprint. And a parking management system allows for smooth ingress and egress to and from the center.
We began to coalesce and weave together an idea that this is not about a building. This is about an environment, a tool for learning, for educating, for enjoying the beauty of the desert.
The architectural design is sensitive to the area and will be in keeping with the 10 existing buildings in the preserve, understated and no taller. The location is sensitive to its neighbors and will be virtually hidden from surrounding homes since it's on a lower plane. Pavilions will be nestled into the site, lessening any visual impact overall. A commons area open during preserve hours will include a small cafe and gift shop with locally sourced nourishments and mementos in keeping with the desert theme. The entire experience is meant to blur the lines between indoor and outdoor experiences, keeping everything in balance.
Remember, this is not a refrigerated box we're bringing you into. It is not a museum. It's a living It's a living structure that is very much integrated into the desert and really fulfills a lot of the principles of biomimicry, where we're really interfacing with the desert as one.
The Desert Discovery Center project is meant to enrich each visitor's experience by providing educational experiences for all ages, for those who live near the preserve and those who do not, whether in Scottsdale or in other parts of the country or world.
For me, this center is an evolution of what has to happen so that the entire southern part of the town, no, the entire world can now really see what the preserve is all about.
The center's new concept includes experiences that are firmly grounded in a sense of place based on what is beneath your feet, in front of your eyes, and showcasing those authentic sensory impacts that cannot be experienced on a typical hike or that likely wouldn't be noticeable on any given visit. Each experience answers the question, what is this place? What don't we see? What can we learn from living in the desert? What future do we want to create? The pod dispels the notion that the desert is a barren, lifeless place. It provides a multisensory introduction, including sights, sounds, even aromas of the desert. Bajada is teeming with life, showcasing hundreds of species of desert flora and fauna that call the preserve home. This indoor-outdoor experience showcases the web of life, the Nectar Corridor, and a walk through the existing Bajada Trail. Mountains and valleys provide visitors an interpretive experience to explore the mountains, the forest, and the soil, the three spheres the Salt River Pima Maricopa Indian community and other authentic Native American voices describe as that which is above, on the ground, and below the surface. Tom's Thumb. Deep Time takes visitors back over 1 billion years through the geologic ages that created our current yet ever-changing landscape. That includes Tom's Thumb, the landmark granite spire that rises in the distance, which began as magma beneath the Earth's surface. The Wash, water in the desert, takes people through the drought-rain experience culminating in a walk through a desert wash. City on the Edge teaches visitors how we can learn to live sustainably in the desert and how other parts of the world can benefit from our knowledge and adapt to new conditions.
The things that the Desert Discovery Center are going to be able to offer are those that are incomparable now as far as an experience just walking or hiking or biking in the preserve, because it's going to cross those boundaries of space and time and understanding. I think an incredible way to learn in both a high-tech and a high-touch way, where they can learn lessons that wouldn't be possible if they were actually to venture into the preserve, because there are many things that are too fragile to see.
Growing the next generation of environmental scientists is perhaps our most critical responsibility. Brilliant young minds will cultivate new techniques that are essential to sustainable life in the desert. The center will feature interactive learning for local children and will be a great resource for schools and field trips. On-site school programs will focus on tactile, hands-on desert experiences that will stir the kids' imagination.
When you get them out in locations where they can do some hands-on learning, experience it in different ways, in exciting ways, that's when you get them wanting to be a part of society's issues, meaning they want to look how to solve these issues, and by learning about the science in this way, they can be part of the solution.
Thanks to the partnership with local conservation and animal rescue organizations, visitors will be able to interact with denizens of the desert. And the educational reach extends beyond the center itself with teaching training programs, lesson plans, and virtual student exchanges with other desert environments. The research conducted at the center will have a global reach thanks to the newly formed Arizona State University Global Drylands Institute. This institute will train a new generation of leaders and students and practitioners and will showcase its research in an interactive way. For some, especially our out-of-town visitors, this will be an introduction to the amazing life and history of the preserve. For those already familiar with the preserve, the center offers ways to deepen and broaden their understanding. For both, the center will make the actual experience of the preserve more vivid and meaningful with dynamic programming and changing exhibits.
You know, we want children to have takeaways, not just to learn something, but some way in which they might take action or change their the way they do things at home, or influence their parents about conservation, about living in the desert, about living in the environment and preserving it going into the future.
This will give us that opportunity to use the center as a focal point for the preserve, not replacing the preserve, but being part and parcel part of it. It's critical, this center is, to the success of education in the preserve.
I'm extremely excited about it. I don't think we're going to find a project any greater than that here in Scottsdale. Our Performing Arts Center, our museums, our Westworld, our Indian Bend Wash, our power that's underground, all of the things that we have successfully done in Scottsdale that went before. I think that the Desert Discovery Center is all of these things rolled into one.
This center, focused on encounters, discovery, global insights, and education, has become something new. Thanks to the past decades of thought, conversation, refinement, and public feedback, the project previously known as the Desert Discovery Center has become Desert Edge, at the gateway to Scottsdale's McDowell-Sonoran Preserve. At Desert Edge, everyone, residents, visitors, school children, those of all ages and abilities from all walks of life, will truly be able to access the wonder that is the Sonoran Desert through encounters, through discovery, through global insights, and most of all, through education. Welcome to Desert Edge.